Hey, I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about the B word, budgets. And I know some of you that are nerds that get you excited, and some of you say, oof, budgets. That is something I never even want to think about. But if you fall in that second category, this video might be for you because I want to encourage people to do budgets. Budgets need to work for you. And so I'm going to talk about a few little misconceptions that I had when I started budgeting and just some tips that I have that make budgets work for me. Does this mean that if you budget, you have to do them exactly like I do? No way. Because I have made budgeting work for me, and I personally don't know anybody else that budgets exactly like I do. And sometimes my husband will look at our budget and he honestly says, I don't get why you do this way. But you know what? I'm the one that does the nitty gritty plugging in the details, and it works with my brain. So, some things that I have learned along the way. When I started budgeting, you hear all these people, have you gotten your January budget ready? Is your February budget ready? And my husband, we have lived off of his income the whole time we've been married. I worked for a while before we had kids, but my income was always saved, and we tried to live off his income because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And so now I stay at home and homeschool, and my husband works and we live off his income. He has always gotten paid bi-weekly, so every other week. And in my mind, I couldn't wrap my mind around doing a monthly budget and being like, he gets paid twice this month, and then this next month he gets paid like 1.5 times, and the next time he gets 2.5. And that just, it works. People do it. But for my mind, it didn't really make sense to me. So I don't budget by the month. So this does throw my numbers off a little bit, but it's what works for me. So what I do is I will sit down at the beginning of the year and I make a spreadsheet for the whole year. And I figure out every other week when he gets paid. And then I take all of my bills that I know that I'm having to pay and I divide them by 26. And that gives me the amount that I need to take out of the paychecks every other week. So for example, if I have a bill that say I have to pay $100 a year on, I'm going to divide that by 26. And my daughter would be saying, you need to be able to do this math really quickly in your head. But then I'm going to take that amount and do it bi-weekly and figure out what I need to save. And my goal is to be able to save up ahead of time so that I can pay that bill when it comes. So like we just paid our property tax for the half year. And so what I did from July to December of last year was I knew how much I needed to save approximately. Our property tax did go up a little bit, so I didn't have quite enough, but the approximate amount that I needed to save, and I would set that aside every paycheck and either have a place you stick that. We put ours in a savings account that is not local. We actually use Ally Online because they have great interest rates, and I will transfer that money into there until that bill needs paid, and then I transfer it back. And so I have a bucket in Ally that is marked as property tax. So then I pull that back over and I pay that. But that gets me pretty close to the amount that I need so that when that bill comes, I can pay it and we are good to go. And we start saving that amount again for the next year. So I know that seems daunting if you have no money in your checking account, you have no money in your savings account, and you're thinking, I can't save up all these money for the future. Just start. Start with an easy bill, maybe something that's not quite as big as property tax, and start saving that up ahead of time. And eventually you'll get to the point where you will have saved up for all of those things ahead of time. So I can't wrap my head around monthly. I do bi-weekly, and then I divide them out so that I can save ahead and pay. Something else that I do that maybe in the technical budgeting world wouldn't be kosher is I have pretty broad categories for my budget, and then I make it work for us. So I don't, you hear like groceries. Some people will be like, I do groceries and I do personal care products like shampoo and toothpaste, and I do them separately. Well, then there's that age-old question of, do you go to the grocery store and you check out and you put your groceries up front, and do you put your personal care products in the back, and then do you enter those? Um, if you want to do that, great. But I am not that specific in my budget. I was just talking to my husband about this a little bit. Um, we have a line item on our budget that I need to change because it did say girls, and our son is almost 2, and he technically is not in the budget, but realistically, we're not spending a whole lot on him yet. He is not playing soccer. I am not homeschooling him, those things. But I just have a line item on my budget for girls. It should be changed to children or kids or something. Um, and then we just figure out like about what we spend on them, and then we make it work. If I overspend, it's going to come out of something else. It might come out of savings. Or if I underspend, I can move some of that money back up to savings. Um, but some other things that I'm a little bit more tempted to overspend on, um, like groceries and entertainment, I don't lump those together because I kind of want to be able to track where those things go. Because if we're going out to eat 3 times a week under entertainment and I blow my budget, something's got to change. But if we're going out to eat once a month and I have a lot of money in my entertainment budget, then maybe we can go out to eat more often. Budgets aren't all about you can't do this and you can't do this and you can't do this. It's allowing yourself to do what you have the money to do. So can we go out to eat once a week or twice a week, or do we not have the money for that right now, and so it's once a month? That's for you to decide and then to make work. But I don't have these small, tiny sections in my budget, partly because it would drive me crazy to sit down every month with the bills and try to remember exactly where they are. But why budget? Let me tell you. What happens if you look at your bank statement and you see Amazon, Amazon, Amazon? You know what I start doing? Where do these go in my budget? What in the world did we buy off Amazon? It's been a week and I cannot remember what we bought on Amazon. If you ever had that problem with, looking at your spending and trying to figure out where it goes, that's in a week's time. So how do you think after a month or 2 months when you have no money, how do you know where it's going if you don't keep track of it? You're not going to, because you're going to balance that big statement or not even look at it, and your money's just going to be spent because money's easy to spend. It's easy to go to the grocery store and fill up your shopping cart and buy everything you need, or whatever that thing is that you like to spend money on. So if you're not keeping track of it, it's just gonna start flowing and you're not gonna have any idea where it goes. So that's why I budget. So I know where my money is going, so I can make my money work for me, and so I can enjoy my money. We want to be able to enjoy life. And if I don't have the essentials, my electric, my water, my heat, all those things paid for, then I'm going to stress when we go out to eat. If I know all those other things are paid for, we can go out to eat and we can enjoy the time. We can go on vacation. And I know I come back to vacation being paid for. I don't come back to vacation, I'm paying for this for the next few months and I'm paying 18% interest on it because they put it all on my credit card. So I would encourage you to find a way of budgeting that works for you and do it. I personally use an Excel document. I know some people still are paper and pencil. Some people use apps like EveryDollar. You need a budget. There's lots of things out there to make work. Find one that works for you. You are not me. I am not this person. And what's going to work for us isn't going to work for everybody else. So if you have any questions about budgeting, I'd love to hear them, because I would love to talk to you about maybe what will work for you and track that money so that you can make that money work for you and not be worried about what you have to pay the next month. So hopefully this was helpful to somebody, and I will be sharing some more about finances, because my passion is that those moms that would want to can stay at home with their kids or can work part-time and just be able to enjoy the time with their kids without worrying about I have to work because finances are tight. And so I would love to see moms get there. And so if that is you, um, let me know how I can help you or encourage you or even just cheer you on in your journey. Um, so thank you for listening, and I will see you again soon. Bye.